Let's start making some textures for our character in Viewport Canvas here. What we're going to do, the background layer is an okay layer, but just like in Photoshop, it tends to be restricted, and so I'm not even really going to use it. Unlike in Photoshop, you can't just simply change the name of the background layer and treat it like a regular layer. So I'm just going to add layers for the different sections of our character that we want to work with. So the first thing we're going to be working with is the skin, because the skin is covered up by the sleeves and and so forth of the shirt, and so it's going to be on the lowest layer. Then we're going to do the shirt because it's covering up part of the jeans, and so it's going to be on the next lowest layer above the skin, and then the jeans, and then we'll do the shoes, and then this video is going to be basically just about painting the basic textures on here. We're actually going to be working mostly in 2D view right now because it's a really good way to get even textures on things like our shirt and our jeans and so forth. Then we're going to do some detail work in the next video for making some, well, you'll see. So let's go ahead and start making some layers to start off with. So I'm going to add another layer here. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it skin. Okay, let's make another layer. Let's call it shirt. Okay, let's make another layer. Let's call it jeans. And let's make one more layer, and let's call it shoes. Okay, and the logic here is, like as I said a minute ago, the skin is underneath the shirt overlaps the jeans somewhat overlap sort of the shoes, right? And so we want to make sure that they're in that order so that when we do paint on top of things and stuff, it'll make sense as we go. All right, so let's go ahead, and we're going to start by using a brush image here, and a built-in one is a skin texture, and it's actually a really good skin texture for just a general skin texture, especially for a character like this. Zoom in quite a bit, okay, and I'm going to go into 2D view. Whoop, I want to make sure I'm on the right layer when I'm painting on this stuff, though. Go into 2D view here, okay, and we're going to. I want you to be able to see what's going on here on the character in 2D view. Okay, so zoom out a little bit. Find our face. Here we go. We're going to start with the face. Zoom in to fill that pretty well. Okay, there we go. And I think that should be pretty good. Yep. Put down a little bit. There we go. All right, and then I'm just going to start painting the skin texture all over my character. Now this part right here, probably there's a little bit of area you can see just by dragging my brush. Look over on the right hand side and see on the actual 3D character. I'm dragging my brush on this part right here, and you can actually see that there's a little bit of overlap in our materials. That's okay, we'll be able to fix that later. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm going to fix it when we work on the shirt. So I'm just going to simply just go back and forth over this, and because we're in 2D view, the mirroring doesn't work in 2D view. So you have to just kind of go over the entire area, but it's so straightforward. We're just simply painting this texture very evenly all over the character consistently, and that's all over that's this part of the character, I should say, not the whole character, obviously. Just filling it up. Okay. All right, so now the skin is taken care of on the face. Let's take care of the arms. Zoom out, and then we can come in later and do some detail work in here, like I'll put freckles probably on his nose and his cheeks later and stuff like that, and I'll probably put that on another layer. So let's go ahead and let's do these hands here. Now let's take a look at where we're at in our character. Oops. Now let's just go ahead and do this. I know this is a hand, but I just wanted to show you guys how this works. Okay. Let's move this over a little bit. It should be the arm. Interesting. It's not showing up in there. Showing up in here though. That's really odd that it's doing that. That's okay. I know what it is. I just wanted to show you and it wasn't showing you, so it doesn't matter. Bottom line is we're going to be painting on this whole thing here and getting this done. Doing this one as well over here. And there we go. The strangest part about this is that it didn't seem to do... Oh, you know what I did? I just painted over something I didn't mean to. I thought it was the arm. It wasn't. There we go. Now we're painting over the arm. I'm going to have to clear out that other one. But that's okay. I'm just going to paint over it. I'm pretty sure, now that I look at this, I'm pretty sure that was a shoe up there that I just painted. Nice, huh? Let me go into color and let me get the color picker, sample that, and then I'm going to paint using that color. I'm going to get out of that, and I'm going to paint back over this. It's not the same color. Be careful. It's not the same color. It should be the same color. Oh, I know why. Because I know. It doesn't matter. We'll get it right. All right. So that's fine. We're going to cover it up. I just didn't want it to have that skin texture in there. It'd be confusing later on. Okay. So we got the skin done basically, and we did it pretty quickly just by working in 2D view. So let's put this away for the moment, and let's zoom out, and we can see how precise that is. If I tried to go up inside of here, I probably should do a little bit of touch up right now on here. So let's go and use this color, and I'm going to just do a little touch up right there. Boom. Okay. Make sure there's no other areas where I need to do a little touch up. There was just a little bit of a gray area there. So it looks pretty good. The only thing that's a little bit, you know, funky is the around the collar there, but we're going to fix that when we work on the shirt. Okay, so let's put that away. All right then. Okay, so let's start working on the shirt now. And once again, we're going to go into 2D view because it's very straightforward to do this stuff in that viewport. So let's work on one half of the shirt here, and let's move this over so we can see what we're doing. I know I'm in the shirt layer, so I don't need to have that going. And I think that's the back of the shirt, and this must be the front of the shirt, so let's do the front of the shirt first. So let's go in here into our brush images. Oops, go back over here. Let's move this over. Brush images and choose the shirt image. Okay, that over so we can see what we're doing in this view. And I'm going to go ahead and just start working this. You can see there's a little funky overlap with the color of the shirt. And we're going to have to touch that up. But not a big deal. Pretty straightforward. Okay, and that looks. And if I had tried to do this on the character itself, we wouldn't have got this nice even pattern of an actual weave. You can almost see the thread, you know, weave of the shirt in there, because that's what it is. It's a texture that's not just simply a yellow color. It's actually got a visual texture to it. Let's do the same thing here in the back. The size brush seems to be working just fine for this area. There we go. Okay, so now we can go, put this away for the moment. Around, you can see that this is pretty much done in here. Let's take a look underneath here. Okay, now that's going right to the edge of the shirt, you know, and that's because of the nature of the way that we did our UV mapping. And so this pulp map, pulp seam was right along the bottom of the shirt. So we're probably going to need to paint some stuff on the jeans, because the rest of this is going to belong to the jeans as far as the pulp map is concerned. But right now, we need to go in here and fix this collar. So I'm going to get a smaller brush. 20 should do the trick. Zoom in a bit here, and I'm going to touch this up and paint this along here. See what I'm saying? There's always a way to fix this stuff. And And that's why we need to do it here. It would be very difficult to tell how much of this to do in 2D view. In other words, how far to paint up to, because this is actually on the face or head pelt map. And you're going to see what I'm going to go into 2D view and show you in a minute once I get it done. Doesn't look too bad. Zoom out, rotate around. That looks a lot better than it did. Okay, now I can go into 2D view, and you can see now along the bottom of this area right here, we could probably be more precise now that I can see where I went. I can probably just go right over this like this, and perhaps even get a better result. Zoom in a bit here. Get a little bit better result. See along the back there? That's looking better. Okay? Let's do this on this side as well. And I'm just going to go, I'm not going to try to go all the way up. Try to make it a little bit more even on the inside. Okay. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Okay, good. All right, now let's work on the jeans. On the jeans layer there, and let's go get the denim texture. It's tileable also, by the way, so it's going to look really good when it's applied in 2D view. So we're going to go into 2D view. We're going to, zoom in just a little bit, and we're going to see what we're doing with the jeans here. And you'll be able to tell this is the front, this is the back. Apparently I got a little bit of the shirt texture in there, but that's okay. I can fix that really quick and easy right now. And actually I'm probably going to end up needing to paint a little bit of the shirt texture right there, because you can see, I don't know if you can see on the right, you see where the brush is on that left part of the shirt right there? We're going to need some of that shirt texture there to make it look more natural. But for right now I'm going to go ahead and cover this. I need a bigger brush. 50 would be good. There we go. Now we're talking. Need to zoom in a little bit more though. In fact, I'm going to do both of those really quick. I want to get this zoomed in, kind of like we did the shirt, so it's filling the area a little bit better. There we go. It's more crisp. Alright, let's do this part as well. Now you notice I'm leaving that part at the top up there. It's because I know I'm going to be going over it in a minute with the shirt texture at the very top. Because you can already see, I'm just going to point to it real quick. You can see the jean texture inside the shirt there. Got to fix that. I'm using the same keystrokes to maneuver around inside this 2D view as I would in one of the 3D viewports. Holding on the middle mouse button to move things around, holding it on the, just to do this, And that jean texture is looking pretty good already. Even though in the viewport it doesn't really show it very well. All right, so let's go and get that shirt texture and a smaller brush, about 25 or something maybe. And I'm going to go ahead and paint that shirt texture right along there like that. Let's do it. Oh, crud. Control Z, sorry. All right, there we go. See what that's doing? Let's go back into this view. Put this away for the moment. What that just did was it put the yellow texture along the bottom of the shirt. I could do a little bit more in the back. You know, the front doesn't look too bad. Yeah, the front's okay. It's going up high enough, but I could put probably another little bit of a stroke there in the back. So I'm going to do that. Let's go. I want to be able to see what it's doing there. So go back there. I'll go back to 2D view. Make sure I'm in the. And this is. Let's make sure that we're looking at this. Okay, this is the back. So I'm just going to make this stroke a little bit wider. In fact, I could do it a little bit more. And being able to see on the character while I'm doing this and see the see it work, I can actually see a little. Oop, too far. See what happened there? Too far. This came out right there. We don't want that. So let's undo that. Control Z, and make sure that we're being. You know, I think that's enough. All we're really trying to do with that is when we're looking at him from a little bit of a low angle. Same thing over here. You can see that it's a little bit too much. I might need to go in and fix that. So that's a real quick thing to do. Just go in here, get the gene material again, go to 2D view, and right there. So I could just simply. It's interesting how it's not quite even. Notice how these rows of edges go. Well, I should have been following those, honestly. If I was doing that, then I would have been in better shape. So let's just do that real quick. All right, under there. And that takes care of that. Okay? And then, yeah, I think that looks fine. That looks pretty good. All right, so let's put this away. So we're on our way. We've got, looks like I overlapped our shoe a little bit with some skin texture, but that's okay. Once again, we're going to be working on a different layer to work on that. So we're getting this together here. So we're starting to come together. Now this is really basic stuff right now. We're just really painting the basic textures on. But once we start doing some detail work to the shirt, especially in the jeans and stuff, you're going to see some neat things happen. I forgot about the skin though. The skin's rather dark. He looks like he has a serious tan there, and I want him to look a little bit. A little bit more normal. So I'm going to go into the skin layer, and just like we can do with adjusting things on layers in Photoshop, we can do that in here. I'm going to adjust the brightness, contrast, hue, and saturation. And so I'm going to adjust the brightness, make it a little bit brighter, let's say about 5, and maybe the saturation, bring that down just a little bit so it's not quite so reddish, and maybe a little bit more brightness too, up to 10 or something. Yeah, that's a better color for his skin. I think it's more natural. Bring it down to 20 maybe. There we go. And, contrast, maybe a little bit more contrast, maybe to 10. Okay, that looks pretty good. I like that. All right. And say OK. If I want to just put it away, say OK. And so now the skin texture is a little bit better. We can zoom in really tight and see that it still has those natural looking, imperfections that the skin has. Even fashion models don't really truly have perfect skin. A lot of makeup, I think, right? Anyway, so we got him going here. Pretty good. I'm going to have to hide that in a minute. And now let's work on the shoes are going to be a little bit more complicated. We're going to call that a detail area. We're going to work on that in the other video. But I think by now you're getting the idea, hopefully, of how this all goes together. Now, so far we worked mostly in the 2D view. From here on out, we're going to be working mostly, not entirely maybe, but mostly right on the character, because we have some real detail work to do to create the shoes and make them look natural, and to make the jeans look less perfect than they are. I mean, he's a little boy. He falls down. He's skateboarding. They should be scuffed up a little bit dirty, things like that. So we're going to make it look a little bit more natural that way. Okay, so that's it for this video, and we're going to start doing some work in the Viewport canvas in just a couple minutes.